Fresh.
Good morning to the Imagine Dragons. Thanks, guys, for coming by.
Hello.
Good morning. Thanks for having us.
Good morning.
Hello. Have you.
It's like three Dans and a Ben because Wayne, your real name is Dan as well.
Yes, like Superman, Clark Kent type thing.
He had to change it to avoid some problems from the past.
Actually shows
I'm escaping bad credit.
Oh, geez.
Wayne is his middle name, but it shows his dedication to the band because we had three Dans 5 years ago when we started, and it was just so confusing. He's like, you know what? I'm tired of this. This is a true story. He's like, I'm tired of this. I'm going to go by my middle name. And
So
then
you were
from
always
then on,
Dan.
now everybody's family.
Isn't that
Wait,
courageous?
does your family still call you Daniel, though?
Yeah.
They do. What
I
a
thought it was
shame.
very courageous
He's
of me
still
to.
Dan in my cell phone.
I thought it was very brave and courageous of me to volunteer since you guys didn't.
It was.
You guys clearly didn't care about the whole confusion.
Well, you were also last on the totem
The
pole.
fact
so
that you
had
never
to-
bring it up and hold it over our
Guitar
heads,
player,
you know.
I think it goes. Drummer is at least below me. Lead singer, obviously, is.
Oh, wow.
What do you think?
It's a musical throwdown.
You never
Yeah.
bring up your sacrifice ever. Either.
We're still looking for
You're
guitarists
you're very
that
selfless
aren't
about
actually named Daniel. You know, if there's anybody out there watching this,
Well, Ben, if you-
anybody less argumentative than he.
Well, if you're all named Dan, so when somebody says, hey, who's the best member of the band, everybody just says Dan.
And then I feel like crap.
And then he feels yeah.
So you should change your name to Dan.
We've got it down now because I go by Dan, and then Daniel goes by
by Platz.
Daniel or Platz, which his last name is Platzman, and then Wayne, Ben. So now it's. We thought about for a second calling us 3DB, but then we thought, wow, that's a terrible name.
Yeah,
So then we went with Imagine Dragons.
Which of course is a secret that you're not going to let out what the
When is that
anagram
secret going
is.
to come out?
Whenever people, stop paying attention to us and we're just grasping at the tail end of our career,
Yeah.
they'll be, come back, we'll tell you what the anagram is now.
Yeah, when we're playing like some hotel show in Vegas or something.
When the career goes full circle.
Yeah,
But it'll be too late. It'll be too late by then because no one will care.
a residency at like O'Shea's.
Enter the raffle to find out what the anagram is.
Well, that's where you guys started. You were in Vegas. And of course, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. What happened to at least one of you or the band that you wish nobody knew and had stayed in Vegas?
Where do we begin?
I think
Ben, you're blushing. I'm just going to
Ben
say
kissed
that.
a boy and he liked it. Or no, wait, Ben
No,
got.
I didn't. A guy licked my face.
Oh, that's right.
And I didn't particularly enjoy it. If there's anything
I
wrong
didn't
with
think
that.
you were. There was. Yeah, you were fine with that.
Was that the bar or with the course of a show, or was it?
That was on stage at O'Shea's when Dan had offered me
No,
up as
I-
a prize for
I thought it
a
was
dance
fine,
contest.
It was. I thought it was a fine moment. There was a.
I know you thought it was a fine moment.
I was actually going to think. I thought that the moment that you would like to erase would be when we had to get you out of jail.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
But that was a learning experience, I at least took something away from that. I didn't leave from having my face licked a more mature person.
What did you learn? Don't get caught?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
And I learned that Dan is very good at, getting people out of jail 20 minutes before a show.
We had a gig. We were opening for a band called Temper Trap in Vegas early in our career, and it was a really big moment for us. And but Ben was in jail for like. I don't remember what it was, like climbing a hotel or something naked.
A series of bad
Yeah.
choices.
And so I convinced the detention center lady to let him out early, but I had to like really sweet talk her, and we were nobody, so I was like, hey, we're in a band Imagine Dragons. She's like, I don't care, I don't even know who that is. And I was like, but I'll give you a CD. Don't care, I'll sign it. All right.
Think about now if any of you go to jail. It'll be so much easier to get out now that
Yeah,
everybody
it's
knows.
totally fine. Now we can go. Laws don't apply to us anymore. It's great.
You should try to get into jail here in New York. It's a really wonderful experience.
Yeah, I
I don't
bet.
think I'd have to try that hard.
Well, obviously, you guys have great chemistry. Is there a prankster in the band? Is somebody doing...
all four.
Really?
We all, yes.
Give us an example. What's the best prank someone pulled?
Oh man, what's the last prank?
We were
somebody
looking
pulled?
last night. Someone threw like a dragon on stage at a show, so we duct taped a sign to it that said, "You don't know where I've been," and we kept putting it in someone's bunk. And then we took a series of really disturbing photos of like where this dragon had been, and we just show it to him one at a time.
Yeah, like the dragon on the floor under the toilet at a truck stop restroom, or like
It's like your guys' version of Elf on a
like
Shelf.
a disgusting restaurant dumpster with meat juice oozing out of it.
And it keeps showing up right in front of his bunk with the sign that says, "You don't know where I've been."
We got Platzman really good recently. He was at a festival, and this girl somehow snuck backstage and convinced him that she was like the festival masseuse, which she was not. She just snuck backstage.
Klaus is very glad the story's being told right now. Look at his face.
She got him in a trailer. She got him to come into a trailer, take his shirt off, and get a massage, which ended up just being like a little like shoulder rub. He's like, this is a little unprofessional.
This is the festival masseuse, huh?
Anyway, but he was convinced enough that he gave her his phone number, and for a while she like really stalked him.
Yeah.
But then we ended up taking advantage of it and blocking phone calls and calling him all the time and pretending like we were her on
This
the
was
phone.
for a year. They kept
For
this
a
up for
year
like
we
a
did.
year.
A year. To a point where it scared him so bad that at all the venues they had to put pictures of her up. Which it wasn't even this poor girl's fault. She was a little bit of a stalker in the beginning, but not to this extent. And finally she showed up at a gig and the police were like, we need to get her, and I had to take the police aside and be like, no, this is a joke. You know, she was a little bit of a stalker, but she doesn't deserve to go to jail. Like it went a year long, and then finally he caught Wayne's wife on the phone one time in the middle of a conversation with her. We would just call and like breathe, you know, be like heavy breathing.
You just find like any girl nearby and be like, pretend to be this crazy person. Go.
Yeah,
like the
it's true.
voice would change on voicemail to voicemail. Be like, she's very like manic. Like there's a lot of different personalities going on there.
I'll be surprised if you guys are still together by the end of the week.
Well, I mean, it's been quite a couple of weeks here. The Grammys, you guys were one of the most talked about performances on the Grammys.
The best, we thought, seriously.
We thought, we
And not
talked
because
about it
you're
the
here,
next
because
day.
Thank you.
But
We thought it was the
tweeting wise,
best.
everybody was talking about it. I mean, with all of the people that perform, I mean, what does it say to you that you guys were the ones people were talking about?
I mean, I think we really had no idea what going into it, how people would perceive it. We were excited about the performance. We loved Kendrick Lamar. So when the Grammys came to us and said, "Hey, Kendrick wants to work with you," we were like, "Wow, well, we're big fans of him too. So this will be perfect." We got in a room together and really hit it off. I think sometimes people say those collaborations can be a little forced. And in our case, I think it really came together. We were
You
both
could
fans
see
of each
that.
other.
It flowed, yeah.
Yeah, we're both fans of each other, and we are influenced by a lot of hip hop, even as a rock band. So it really made a lot of sense, and it came together well. So we were really happy with how it turned out. And Kendrick's just such a cool dude, like really down to earth, really great artist, and so to work with him was a pleasure.
And for your Grammy Award, you were up against some huge names, Zeppelin and David Bowie. I mean, but when you learned that you were up for a Grammy Award, I mean, tell us about that moment. That had to be just spectacular.
None of us thought we were gonna win. Like, I'm not just saying that. Like, none of us thought at all. We didn't have any speech, nothing. Like, it was like,
I think we all knew that we were not going to.
yes.
Really?
We thought we wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
We were absolutely certain that there was no chance.
So then they announce your name. What goes through your mind?
Someone made a mistake. I mean, those are bands that we grew up listening to our whole life, that we've been influenced by. To say that we had a better rock performance than them, it's so subjective. And I think honestly we have a hard time stomaching it. But we're like, thanks. We'll take the Grammy. Thank you very much. But these bands are incredible. It's like Jack White. It's Josh Homme.
Bowie.
It's
Led Zeppelin.
Yeah, these are for us. These are like legends to us. So if I ever see them, I'll probably give them a hug and tell them they deserve this. But I'll take it. Whatever.
Yeah.
Do you have it yet? Do you guys have them, or they mailed
They
us?
mail them to you. I think we all
Kind
get
of been
one.
Jumping
Yeah.
around essentially.
I think don't they mail them in parts and you have to put it together yourself?
Like Legos.
Like IKEA furniture.
It comes with an Allen key. You have to put it together.
Yeah.
In Swedish
It was
instructions.
actually fairly heavy. I was expecting it to be kind of light, to be honest, but it was heavy.
Does everybody get their own, or do you have to share
Yeah,
one?
no, we all get our own, which is nice.
Any
Yeah.
place in particular you're going to keep yours? Each one of the guys? What do you think?
I'm gonna mount it on the top of my house.
I'm homeless, so I'll probably use it as a hood ornament on my truck.
That'd actually be hilarious. Wow.
Daniel, what about you?
That's really great.
Oh man, I'm probably just gonna put it up in some area where I like to be creative.
Okay.
To inspire
Boring
you.
answer.
I don't
I mean,
know.
I'll bury it, but 6 feet beneath the Earth's surface, so no one can take it. It'll be safe forever.
I don't know. It's like one of those things where I want, like, do you display it and like be like, yeah, I want a Grammy, or you know,
It's a tricky thing.
it's a tricky thing.
Or do you hide it?
Or do you hide it and just say, yeah, be humble? Do you do the humble card or not? That's
Like,
the
do you
question.
have it right when someone walks in your house?
Right.
They like, it's like
It's your door knocker.
Sorry about my Grammy that's in your way. Let me move that.
There's got to be something in between that I'll probably
Yeah.
do.
No middle ground.
Okay.
None.
Yeah.
What do people do for you now that they didn't used to do?
Laugh at our jokes, which is nice. call. I think a lot of people from high school that I wasn't really friends with have reached out, which is nice. You know, you can either be better and be like, the jocks didn't like me in high school, now they like me, or you can just be like, ha ha ha.
And which are you?
What a flaw of humanity that's so great. You
I
know?
actually get hate mail from people I went to high school with.
Have you really?
Yeah, it's
Saying
good.
what? Like,
What do they
your
say?
band sucks.
Like, I sent you a Facebook message 12 months ago and you didn't promote my band.
Oh yeah, I have gotten that. Yeah, that's true. That's a real thing that happens. Is people
It's
like,
so strange.
you know, and the funny thing is not people that you were like very close. If you know, if your best friend reaches out, like my best friend reached out and he wants me to write a letter of recommendation for him. I was like, okay, this is cool. This is my friend, totally. But it's usually like the dude you didn't know that like picked on you. That's like, hey man, like, why don't you tweet about like my new up and coming business, blah blah blah, and you're like, okay, no response, and then they get mad. They're like, wow. You've changed. You're like, no, you changed, bro. I never even had one conversation with you.
So Dan, when you're on the Grammys, can you wear the shirt that says "Eat at Joe's"? The location and the phone number.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
Do you guys first remember when you heard your song on the radio?
Absolutely. We were coming back from shooting the music video for Its Time. We just finished shooting the last day in Barstow, and we knew it was going to come on the radio in LA, so we were driving as fast as we could to try to get into range. And coming over the hill, we could just kind of hear it coming in and out through the static of the mariachi station. It was just kind of bleeding in. Eventually, we managed to get over the last hill and catch the last chorus out. It was a fun time.
Yeah, that was nice.
And the disc jockey was kind enough to let the record end before I talked, right?
Mostly.
Yeah.
It was so hard to tell in the static. We were literally like flooring it, trying to get into like the radio waves.
The range.
You know, because it was like very staticky, but we were.
Yeah.
It was one of those moments from what was that movie? It reminded me, like in that moment, I was like, "This is really cheesy and cliche." It reminded me of what's that movie with like the dudes here and there?
That thing you
Yeah,
did.
yeah, that thing you do. Exactly. It was kind of one of those like cheesy moments. Yeah.
Well, some of your songs have been used on for Glee and Major League Baseball. I mean, you guys are prolific writers. Do you sometimes go into writing a song thinking about, oh man, this is a Glee song, or this would be great for NFL, or because I know money wise, it's a great. Deal.
Next demo I pitch, I'm going to say something like, "I wrote this for the Super Bowl guys." Just so you know, this is the Super Bowl song. you have to really take this one seriously.
Yeah. No, we wrote the album we wrote the album really as a small club band, because this was 2 years ago, and so we were 3 years into the band. We were playing small clubs, never sold out. Maybe in our hometown sold out, but that's like 200 people. You know what I mean? We were a very small band. We'd been doing it for years, and we had released like 4 EPs, so we didn't, when we were putting out the album, I remember us saying, if this sells like a couple thousand, that's just so awesome, and then the EP went out and just really started to build, and we put out the album. This sold, it was like 80,000 the first week, and I remember we were just blown away. That number to us was huge, and then the last year has just been a joke. So
Now you're selling out huge venues.
Yeah, so we never had any expectations like that. We never even had an expectation this song would be played on the radio. It was, do we like these songs? Are these songs that we're proud of and hopefully people will like?
And now you performed on the Grammys. Who have you guys met that kind of starstruck you? Because you've met a lot of people, I'm sure, in the
this last week
year.
especially.
Paul McCartney was kind of a overwhelming presence to
Yeah.
Yeah,
meet.
Dave Grohl and Taylor Hawkins, who are
Chris
like two of my
Christopherson.
favorite drummers. That was pretty crazy.
Steven Tyler,
Steven Tyler.
Ringo.
Chris Christopherson.
Ringo gave me a kiss on the cheek.
Wow.
Yes, he was like, I've been listening to your
Lionel
album,
Richie.
I love it, and gave me a kiss on the cheek. I was like, that was a moment for me. I think that I was like, this is weird. Like, things have gotten extremely weird at this point.
So he got kissed by Ringo, and you got licked on your face by a bar guy. There's a difference here.
It's so funny that like I feel like in the moment it was fine. You kind of liked it. It was like you know what
saying
happened.
it was fine and saying you
No,
kind
what-
of liked
here's
it. are two
what
very
happened
different
was-
statements.
We made like it was like a challenge to see if he could keep playing his. I said, if anybody can get him to mess up his bass part while he's playing his bass part. This was at the casino
No, you're,
days, so
you're
it's so
confusing
different.
two different contests.
No. This was it, right?
No, the distracting me from playing my bass thing. That's when your sister kissed me on
Oh,
stage.
okay.
Wait, and that's not like a diss, right? Your sister kissed me
Oh
on
no,
stage.
his
That's an
sister is
actual.
very cute.
Okay.
No, he's loving
Married?
this. Yeah.
Married now.
She's pretty married and very cute.
Pretty married. All right, no.
So now, when you guys perform, when you go out, do you do anything? Talk to each other before you go out? Do you have a thing that you do before you go on stage? What do you think before you go on stage, each of you?
I think the ritual for going on stage has stayed pretty consistent since the beginning.
I just think I hope I don't screw up too many parts. You know.
We always look at each other and say, "Don't mess up."
We have a warm
And then we all-
warm up that we all do, and so vocal and like finger warm up things, and then we have a little ritual that we always like a little thing that we do.
Have you been doing that since like, forever?
from the inception, but we haven't. But we keep it a secret. We do.
Like
We can't. It'll lose its magic if I tell you.
Yeah.
It's like a naked dance type thing. But
Awesome.
I'm not going to get that detailed.
Okay. You guys are going to be on SNL.
Yeah.
Who's the funniest of all of you?
Me.
Ben.
We always know the person who says me is usually the least funny.
I have that perfect
I think it all
timing.
depends on the day.
I think Ben's probably the
Also on the
funniest.
style of comedy.
Yeah, I'd give it to Ben. I'd say.
Do
I'd
you have
say he's pretty
a
funny.
good joke
Told
for
ya.
us?
No.
Not that we can say.
Not that
He
you
was
can
like
tell
the
on
only
radio.
popular one growing up. He was homecoming king and class president, but then he got impeached because he spent all the money on
Milk and cookies.
Milk and cookies.
Yeah, this is a true story. He really was impeached because he
As the
spent
class president.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
spent all the money.
didn't-
Entire budget for the year.
He didn't just spend his class's entire budget, but all the previous classes had like been saving money. So he blew all of that money also
On milk and cookies.
On one day of milk and cookies, not for the whole high school, but only for his class.
He was well liked. He was really well liked.
Yeah, I might have gotten reelected through my my milk and cookie fiasco.
What about for Valentine's Day? Because it's coming up.
We have a show that day.
So
In
no
LA.
romantic stuff for the women in your life or men? I don't.
I feel like Valentine's Day, it seems like, and first of all, unless you're in a relationship, if you're not in a relationship, Valentine's Day is a terrible day always because it reminds you about how lonely you are.
Daniel's shaking his head no.
I don't know. No relationship Valentine's Day pressure's off. That's like a relaxing jaunt in the park.
I mean, that's the difference between a diehard romantic and just a calloused, just black-hearted.
All right, diehard romantic. What's going on for Valentine's Day?
Well, I'm in a relationship, so of course I'll be extremely romantic. And I just watched last night. Have you seen Her?
No.
Spike Jones
Joaquin-
movie?
Oh,
yet.
wow. It
The
was so
Joaquin
good.
Phoenix?
Yeah, it was so good with Spike Jones directing. I was just,
Everybody says you fall in love with her by the end. Like every man's in love
Oh,
with
yeah.
her.
The voice is Scarlett Johansson, so
Right.
yeah. I mean, it's incredible. I absolutely loved it. But for any romantics out there, you would really like it. It was really good.
So we're just going to do a quick most likely to as we finish up here. First, and I think we already said this, most likely to get arrested.
Ben.
Yeah, I feel like this thing's gonna be my time to shine as we go down this list here.
So Ben has already been arrested.
Yeah.
Okay, so we established that.
statistically.
Most likely to have a sex tape surface.
Ben.
I
I think that's already happened. I feel like that's already happened. But
Nothing surfaced.
Yet.
defined surface. Yeah.
Most likely to be up late at night buying something from an infomercial.
Ben.
I'm gonna say Platzman on that one actually.
Infomercial.
Yeah, I
So
don't.
Ben.
I'm
They
gonna
do
say
have those
Platzman.
bowls that you can microwave the bacon.
Yeah, maybe Ben.
Ben.
Perfect egg, the egg wave.
Yeah.
I think I have
awesome.
one of those.
All right, most likely to accidentally end up making out with Lindsay Lohan in the VIP room.
Ben.
Ben.
I'm sorry. I mean, honestly, these are like most of these have been done very closely to how you're saying. it.
Sorry, Lindsay.
Most likely to get
Sorry to
licked
put
on
you
the
on
face
blast.
by a strange man.
Yeah.
Ben.
Excellent. And of course, you guys have rented a house. You're converting to a studio in Las Vegas to write the new album. You're all living together there?
Vegas. That's right.
We,
It's all happening in Vegas.
We're not living together at this point in our career, but we
Well, we're
did.
living together just on a tour bus.
Yeah.
We did live in Vegas when the band started. We lived in a house together, and we lived there for a couple years while we played the casino gigs to pay rent. Because
You know, the amount of hours a day you're going to be in that studio, we're all going to be in that studio. We
Might
will
as
pretty
well
much
be.
be all
Yeah.
living together.
Yeah.
It's
No, we're pretty excited about it. We bought a house this last year in Vegas, and we're renovating it and turning it into our own studio. Because you spend so much money as a band when you're like, let's rent out this super nice studio for 3 months, and and you just throw away so much money. So to us, we would rather invest that in the future of Imagine Dragons. So,
Excellent.
And you're going to be at the Barclays on Wednesday
Next
night.
Wednesday.
So
Yep.
you're heading to Brooklyn, Saturday Night Live tomorrow.
Yes.
Are you nervous about that a little?
I feel like I would be more nervous if we hadn't just done the Grammys. I feel like I got kind of that out of my system, and now
Yeah.
at this point, it's like
But we are
whatever,
really excited. Like
We're very
We all
excited,
grew
yeah.
up watching SNL, and
And Melissa
dreaming of
McCarthy's
being part of it,
hilarious.
so.
Yeah, yeah. Well, guys, congratulations on your great success. And
Thank you.
Of course, the future is so bright that we just want to see more great things from you. Congratulations, and thanks for
Thank
coming.
you.
Thank you.
Of course.
Brad.
Thank you.
Imagine Dragons, everybody.